Now to the story making a big splash here and abroad. Australian Ken Thompson has cycled more than 6,000 kilometres across Europe, desperately searching for his young son, who was abducted by his mother during a bitter custody battle. That emotional journey has now come to an end in Amsterdam. Extradition proceedings have begun in the Netherlands to return Melinda Stratton to Australia to face charges of contempt of court. Meanwhile, Ken Thompson is waiting to be reunited with his 6-year-old son, Andrew. Europe correspondent Emma Elberici reports from Amsterdam.
Well, I'd spend about sort of 6 to 8 hours a day on the bike, doing about 100 kilometres a day, so I had plenty of time by myself to think about things. My thoughts were always focused on Andrew.
Ken Thompson hadn't seen his son in 2 years when he decided to get on his bike and go looking for him.
I was in this kind of state where I was cycling along, but it didn't really feel as though I was moving forward. It felt as though the road was moving underneath me. And I thought, oh, this is easy, I can do this forever.
After 4 years of marriage, Ken Thompson and Melinda Stratton's relationship broke down and a custody battle was raging in the family court. Panicking that the judge might rule against her, Melinda Stratton fled overseas, claiming that her husband had been sexually abusing their son.
She, had formed a belief that, I was seriously abusing Andrew. But to put that into context, she was also forming beliefs that other people were harming Andrew or were a threat to Andrew in some way.
What was it that you used to do that concerned her?
When I would work through this What We Did Today story, Melinda would sit beside Andrew, whereas I would lie beside Andrew, because I wanted him to go to sleep. And I thought, if he's lying down, more chance of him going to sleep. And the reality of the matter was most of the times I fell asleep as well. Melinda would come in and wake me up, a couple of hours later. And she just became concerned about the way he expressed that. He said, I want you to lie like Daddy does. And when she asked how that was, he put his hands kind of around his kind of groin area and he clasped his hands. And apparently that's what kind of triggered this process of forming this belief that something inappropriate was happening.
Why would a mother go to such extraordinary lengths if she didn't really believe that her son was in danger?
I think you need to ask somebody who is much more qualified than me.
Passport checks placed the 3-year-old in Germany, but Europe's open borders meant that from there he could have been moved to any one of 27 countries. Ken Thompson has cycled across 9 countries trying to raise his son's profile. He quit his job as Deputy Fire Commissioner in New South Wales to trawl Europe, living in a tent with little more than cinders, his son's favourite toy, as company. Did you ever worry that something shocking
every day, every single day?
All the time, he was hoping that someone, somewhere, would recognise the gap-toothed little boy on his shirt and get in touch. After 4 months and 6,500 kilometres, it paid off. An anonymous email on Father's Day said that Andrew was safe and well in Amsterdam, a city that contains more bicycles than people.
It took me 3 days to accept that he'd been found. I wasn't prepared to get my hopes up. I'd had my hopes up several times before. We had a lead here and we had a lead there, and we followed those leads, and every single time, nothing came of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You got 2 lovely little kitties.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ken Thompson has become a public figure in Amsterdam. His story, a beacon for parents everywhere.
Look after you, keep your eye on these 2, eh?
Yeah.
The Dutch prosecution service is now taking steps to extradite Melinda Stratton to face charges in Australia for contempt of the family court.
We got some information of somebody who told us that they might know where she lives here in Amsterdam. And we checked the information, and it turned out actually that it was her, and so she was arrested and the child was with her. In this case, we don't see any, at this point, we don't see any major obstacles to the extradition.
I actually came here. I was in this city in June. And at the time when I first came here, I thought, you know what? This is the kind of city I wouldn't be surprised to find Melinda in.
For now, Andrew is being cared for by Amsterdam's Child Protection Office. He won't be reunited with his father until psychologists believe he's ready.
So how does it feel knowing that Andrew is in this city, but you can't get to him just yet?
It's frustrating, but I also appreciate the fact that Andrew needs time to learn that I'm here. He needs time to come to accept that his father could be coming back into his life, and he needs time to readjust himself to that. That would be not the right thing to do, to just suddenly rush in and say, hey, I'm here.
Melinda Stratton can be held in custody in the Netherlands for up to 45 days without charge. The legal process is expected to take at least 3 months, so it's unlikely that Andrew Thompson will be home in Australia for Christmas.
Do you want your wife to go to jail?
I've never wanted her to go to jail. You know, I've done everything I can to prevent this getting to where it is now.
So what now for you would be the best case scenario?
You know, throughout this whole ordeal, I have never said, I hate my wife. What I've said is, you know, the woman I married and had a child with has done something wrong. There seems to be a reason for that, and I'll do whatever I can to help her get over that. I'm happy to work with her. Whether, you know, we can get back together, God, I don't know. I really don't know. I would
you
like
want
to.
to?
Yeah, in a way I do, because we had a really good relationship. We had a wonderful relationship. I'd like to be able to get that back.
In the meantime, Ken Thompson is waiting for word that his son wants to see him. When he gets back to Australia, he's going to start a new career, advising other parents around the world who've had their children abducted. There are few of them who've had the kind of luck he has.
And we're now told that the reunion between father and son could take place within the next few hours. Emma Alberici reporting from Amsterdam.